That's an amazing game I have just played. I crushed my opponent out of the opening with the black pieces, not really giving him any chances. And this game shows you the power of development. Hi guys, it's International Master again, Eliseth, and in this video I want to show you my decision-making process, how I play a normal rapid game, 10 minutes for each player, and I'm black in this game, so hopefully you're gonna learn a lot throughout the game. So let's start. I have started with d6 against e4, the Philidor defense. My opponent played d3, which is kind of a passive move here, so let me just play e5, and he plays f4. By the way, I have started a brand new account here, turn into Grandmaster, and my goal is to achieve the 2500 score on lichess in rapid rating. Let's see how many games would I need to do that, and whether I can achieve it at all, because I haven't tried it yet. So, okay, let's focus on this game first. He played f4, which is a pretty aggressive move. It's not really threatening anything yet, but, well, I have to continue my development somehow. I don't really want to take it because it just helps him to continue his development. So let me just stick to my normal plan, which is knight f6. He plays g3 now. Okay. Yeah, somehow this setup feels to be a little bit weird, but yeah, I'm gonna just continue. So normally in the Philidor defense, that's the way you play d6, e5, knight f6, bishop e7. And if white attacks upon an e5 with a knight, then you could protect it one more time with a knight. But this time, white is playing something unusual, but still the usual setup, the usual approach works. That's the beauty of the Philidor defense. You can do the same thing, basically no matter what your opponent does. Yeah, now he attacks his opponent attacks, so I have to do something about it. He exchange it first, so I have a few options. I can end it with a bishop, or as usual with a knight. The drawback of doing it with a knight is that I'm blocking my own bishop. But the drawback of the move bishop d6 is that I'm making the second move with the same piece, which is normally not what you should be aiming for. In the opening, you should try to make just one move with each piece. That way you develop as many pieces as possible, as fast as possible, which is, of course, the main goal in the opening. Yeah, so following this rule, I guess it is going to be 7. By the way, I could have just played knight to c6 as well. Maybe it would be a little bit more active. Just that in the Philidor defense, normally you put a pawn on c6 that is covering this key d5 square, so the opponent's knight can't land there. So from this point of view, knight d7 is more flexible because I still have this opportunity, and yeah, he's doing something weird, to be honest. He's not really developing his pieces. Instead, he's making a lot of moves with pawns. It's, by the way, a bad strategy in the opening. And, well, my goal with this whole series of videos is to show you how to beat your opponents at different levels, starting in the bottom. So now we are playing against 1300 player, but with the time the level would be increased and the challenges would change as well. So, yeah, at this point, we just should focus on the development. No matter what our opponent does, unless he creates some threats, we should just develop our pieces as efficiently as possible. So I like move c6 because not only it covers those important squares, it also opens my queen. It could be important in case of some sacrifices, like if I move my knight somewhere, and then this knight comes, I might have some discover attacks. This He's continuing to make a lot of moves with the pawns, which is, yeah, pretty weird because the knight is the only piece he developed and the king is still in the center. He has a lot of weaknesses on the dark squares, and that's exactly what you should avoid. win in the opening. I wonder if I can already play knight c5. I mean, I have already developed a lot of pieces. I have already made sure that my king is in safety, so I guess I'm ready for some active actions. And I'm not really even calculating a lot of lines because I believe that with those weak squares, weak dark squares, you simply can't survive here after knight takes c5, even some simple queen c7. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go for it. I mean, he has bishop f4, but bishop b6, b6. Another idea is just take on e4, and after d takes e, play queen a5 check. And like I said, yeah, win the knight back, but then the e4 pawn would be a weakness, and well, the material would be equal. So this would be a pretty good choice. I want to sacrifice the knight because I'm gonna need to trade the queens. Unless I take this knight first, and then bishop h4 check. And then king must move e2. It might be interesting. Queen's trade, I'll take it, but on the other hand, the g3 is a big threat. Yeah, still interesting. Can just play knight takes e4, pawn takes, bishop h4 check, king e2, queen e7. Attacking this guy, and if he plays bishop e4 to knight, let's say just f6. And the knight goes back, I have queen takes e4. Actually, the position is so good that I don't really need to sacrifice it. At least it feels so. And some normal queen c7 should be good. Let's take d4. Just make it here. Yeah, I think so. Because that way this diagonal is still open, and maybe after some sacrifices the queen will come to h4, which would be very dangerous. And also we are opening up the e file for the rook here. Okay, so now he has created another queen for himself. Knight takes e4 now, takes queen h4 check, queen e2, knight takes e4. Still a little bit here, but why not to start just a simple e8? He has to play d4, I suppose, otherwise he just loses a piece. And then knight takes e4, and yeah, knight on e5 at least. So again, I don't see any reason to sacrifice anything. Should probably play a little bit faster because if I play, I'm not gonna be able to finish the game. But yeah, so far so good. 2 minutes is more than enough for such a position. But yeah, I guess it's time to take something a bit more. But I will be curious to take a look at the analysis after the game, because I'm pretty sure that a bunch of sacrifices wins the game pretty easily. But, you know, when you play a practical game and you see that you can just win normally without any sacrifices, why would you risk if you're not? I mean, if you see the direct checkmate, for example, of course you should sacrifice. Otherwise, if you can just make normal developing moves and still you see that your position is completely winning, then why would you take an unnecessary risk? Yeah, so here he decided to sacrifice a knight. It doesn't really help. So the king is still pretty safe here, but now I'm a piece up, and the attack is still going on. This is amazing here. Or maybe on e4 actually. because if he takes backs and I take it with the rook and then win queen. Yeah, I mean everything wins, but that makes this one more. Because, well, a lot of stuff is going on. This bunch of discovers checks are a problem for white. Bishop e2 is probably the best move, but even g5 seems crazy. Or maybe just knight c5 back. Straight on the 9xd. Queen d4 is also interesting. The most aggressive move. I'm thinking myself. Maybe also unnecessary knight c3, for example. Once again, you don't need to take any unnecessary risks. If the position is winning, you just continue your job, you develop your pieces. Unfortunately, I'm still not developed completely. This queen side is a problem, but yeah, I don't have any good squares for this bishop. That is the only good thing of this h3 g4 strategy, but of course, well, you never want to do that because he spends so much time and now his pieces are not developed. Okay, king d2. Maybe rook takes e2, king takes. That is the type of the sacrifice that you can safely do because, well, first of all, it's almost not a real sacrifice because you get a bishop and a pawn for a rook. It's almost the same, but the attack is tremendous afterwards. And I will maybe finally have a possibility to finish my development. It's always my goal. Or maybe even be not necessary. This knight will jump in and that would be enough to give a checkmate, we will see. In every case, the position is certainly completely winning for black. You just need to be a little bit careful, first of all, not to lose on time, and also not to blunder anything. Yeah, queen takes d3 with a check. Always nice to make a move with a check because it's within the tempo. Then once again we have another move. Continues the attack. Yeah, I believe knight d4 should be winning here. Not like it's the only move, but it would be the most active one. And then queen is coming. Yeah, still. I can't really. Yeah, maybe now, maybe they can sacrifice here, so I can checkmate, and then he takes. I'm gonna activate my rook. Yeah, I like it a lot. Because that's gonna really show this development, the power of the development. Doesn't matter how many pieces are there. Not sure if yeah, gonna be some material down, but it doesn't matter at all. As long as those pieces are completely inactive and the spin is in the center, completely naked and ready to get checkmate. I can give a check, but well, it was already doesn't change anything except for removing another defender. Okay, he doesn't take it, but I don't think he defends, so I still want to finish my development. Yeah, I missed checkmate, that wasn't necessary. That's well. Now my mission is accomplished, all of the pieces are active, and checkmate is not going away from me. Example, h takes g, knight g3, check, king f2, rook e2, king back, course, you can sacrifice some pieces in between, but yeah. This very well. No, because King G1, Queen D1 check, and here it's important that the knight passes. So knight would be on C3 and you could first block. Check. Okay. And remove it because the pawn is on the move. Yeah, okay, so let's take a look at the analysis here. So the game started with a d4, b6, and this d3 is already not really fighting for the advantage. So we played knight f6, e5, yeah, and whenever he takes on e5, it's already giving black some initiative because, well, those dark squares seem to be very weak, especially in the combination of this, maybe this g3 move. But still, he should have developed his pieces. I mean, the c4 is too slow. And once again, weakening the dark squares. Castled. Yeah, and of course you can be more aggressive and win immediately, but I really just wanted to show that this power of the development in this game. Yeah, now I have finally started to win. You can see that I could have done it before because this c6 move is really unnecessary. I agree, of course. Just a very important move in terms of the knight d5 idea, which is normally its main idea in the opening. So we always want to cover this one, so I basically kind of automatically did it. But of course, in this particular position, it wasn't necessary. Yeah, and like I said, in this position, we already see that we can sacrifice some material and win immediately with knight takes e4. So I was curious to check it. Yeah, now bishop e4. Queen e2 and queen e7. Yeah, that's exactly the variation I was calculating. Bishop f4, just f6. And you see that we win some material. Yeah, I was calculating knight f3 here, and then okay, that is something I missed in c4, and that's basically checkmate because the queen has no way to escape. Okay. Yeah, so that should have been an easier way to finish the game, but I just wanted to win without any sacrifices to show you that, well, if it's not necessary, it's not necessary. Unless you're certainly sure. I mean, if I would have seen this queen c4 in the end with the checkmate, yeah, that would have done it. But, well, if you have a calm way to do the same thing, maybe a few moves longer, but if you're absolutely sure that it's gonna win, then you're just doing it. And now, well, there are certainly different ways to win the game, but I guess we were here good enough. So, thank you very much for playing this game with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was interesting for you. Write in the comments what you think. What would you have played differently? And maybe you have any questions, feel free to ask it in the comments. I'm gonna make sure to answer it. See you in the next videos.